So I think we are good to go. Hello, we are good. We are good.
Yes, sir.
You can go ahead. So we can put on our cameras and have a snapshot at commencement.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so good morning, everyone. And as I was saying earlier, I would like to welcome our honorable guest in person of Mr. Nanchang Nangwang, the Executive Director, Settlement House ADR Training Institute. Then I also like to thank the president of Alternative Dispute Resolution Society, EXU branch, that's a state university. Then I also like to thank all executives of AGR Society that are present here for EXU. Then I see our former president for AGR Society. She's also represented here. So I would like to send my greetings also. Then I'd like to thank all law students of State University that are present here. I don't really know everyone here, so I'm sending greetings to everyone, well represented, and to all distinguished personalities. Then this webinar is brought to us by the AGR Society X2, and the topic is facilitating a real life mediation, the do's and don'ts. I think we know about it before, but briefly, before we start, I would like to read the biography of our guest in person of Mr. Nanchang Nangwang. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So I'll start now, reading the biography of our honorable guest. Nanchang Nangwang is a lawyer and the principal partner of the law firm Nanchang and Co., a law firm based in Kaduna, Nigeria. Is a certified teacher, trainer, and facilitator. Is a faculty member and the executive director of Settlement House ADR Training Institute, SHATI, an institution for the training, certification, and practice of alternative dispute resolution. Is also a faculty member of Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, a model arbitration certification institution in Nigeria. Is a certified dispute resolution specialist, an international mediation campus trained mediator, an Anthony mediator, a certified mediation advocate, an arbitrator, a certified negotiator, an ADR practitioner, a restorative justice practitioner, and a certified emotional intelligence specialist. Is a certified conflict manager, a certified ADR registrar or secretary, a holder of Mediator Academy, United Kingdom certificate in commercial mediation, accredited by Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, UK, a medical law enthusiast and employment and labor law expert. He's an accredited and trained mediator with Accords International, India, and has completed a course to become a Florida Supreme Court certified county mediator in the United States of America. He served as a judge and expert assessor in many international mediation and negotiation competitions. He has mentored many students and non-students in the theory and practice of ADR. He has keen interest in the application of ADR in the resolution of medical and negligence disputes, workplace disputes, commercial mediation, faith-based disputes, land disputes, family disputes, among others. As a dispute resolution specialist, he has handled several disputes which were amicably settled out of court. He is ever willing and ready to volunteer for and contribute to the development and practice of alternative dispute resolution. He's a facilitator for the Professional Diploma in Education of Institute of Education, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, as well an external facilitator with the Federal Polytechnic, Kaduna. He's married to a female wife and blessed with 2 children. Thank you, sir. So I welcome you. So you can have the floor now.
Thank you very much for that wonderful reading of my profile. I appreciate you. I would like to start by appreciating the management and the ESCOs of Settlement House of the Alternative Dispute Resolution Society, Ekiti State University. Can you confirm if you can see my slides?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
I can see also.
Okay. All right. So let me thank Senior Ade Ajayi for reading my profile. And let me thank the president for making this meeting possible. And I want to also appreciate Susanna for reaching out and the constant disturbance, messages here and there in order to make this meeting a success. I want to appreciate you all. And I want to thank you so much for your willingness and readiness to actually learn about ADR mediation particularly. I am very, very grateful. My name is Nanchang Nangwang, as they have already explained to you. And I just easily call myself a dispute resolution specialist because I wear many caps when it comes to the dispute resolution sphere, whether as a lawyer or as an ADR practitioner. And as explained to you, I am a certified teacher and trainer, and I am different kind of thing. I practice under all the ADR mechanism, be it mediation, arbitration, negotiation, just to mention restorative justice, among others. I am the executive director of Settlement House ADR Training Institute, an institute for the training certification of ADR practitioners in Nigeria and all over the world. And today we are going to be looking at the processes and stages of mediation. And our emphasis is our emphasis is in trying to understand the stages and what you need to do when it comes to facilitating mediation. So I urge you to pay keen attention, take note of questions, and if there is anything, then we will look at it together. So I believe that my time starts reading now, right?
Yes, sir. This is 10:30, so time starts now.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So just a minute, just one. Okay. So who can tell me what mediation is in his own understanding?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Yeah.
Please.
It is a process of settling a deal between two parties with the assistance or facilitation of the negotiation by a third independent person called a mediator.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Does somebody wants to give a trial again? Another
Yes.
part.
Mediation is a process where it is a process of resolving a dispute whereby a neutral person who facilitates the two parties see to it that they come to agreement by settling their dispute.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. We appreciate you greatly. Okay, so who can tell us the topic for today?
Yes, sir.
Who can tell us the
Yeah, the topic for today is do's and don'ts of mediation.
Okay, do we have another? What's the topic?
Facilitating a real life mediation, the do's and don'ts of mediation.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much for that. So we are looking at facilitating a real life mediation, the do's and don'ts. What do you need to do? What are the things that you need to avoid? So but before we get to that, we're looking at the stages of mediation. All right. So you know, there is this popular saying that disputes and conflicts are everywhere. Do we believe it?
Yes, please.
Okay. And
Yes.
okay. So you also see that do we believe that conflicts and disputes happens in our homes, in our workplace, in our businesses? Do we believe that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if we believe that conflict happens, it means that whether it is intentional or unintentional, conflicts abound. So if that is the reality we have, it means that for me to actually survive properly in a world that is full of conflicts, I need to actually learn certain skills. And these skills has to do with how to resolve conflicts. So will someone want to share with us whether he or she has ever been involved in a conflict? One, unintentional, and two, intentional. Will someone want to share with us? Can you hear me? Can you
Yes.
all hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Will somebody want to share with us if he has been involved in a conflict, whether intentional or unintentional? Okay, nobody. Ajayi, would you like to share with us?
So I can hear you.
Would you like to share with us?
Would you like to
Have
share what?
you been involved in any conflict before?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Would you like to share with us?
It just happens, like even without you being conscious about it. So there's someone that will come from school to tell you that you did something they didn't like. So I feel like it's just normal. Conflicts are normal. Maybe even in a group, it's just normal. In my hostel, yeah, conflicts happen every day.
Okay, so how do you resolve it?
How do I resolve it? Personally, when someone comes, maybe when I hear, because sometimes the parties will not, the people that are in conflict, so you might not even know them sometimes, they will not tell you what it is. Maybe I heard from someone. What I do in my own best interest is to go and meet them. I can, if they're approachable, I can go and approach them that, okay, so this was what happened. I will try to explain my part. I'll try to explain myself out. And sometimes it has worked. Sometimes, if the person is open to resolving the conflict, it has worked. But sometimes it will not work. You have to still go and meet like a third party, someone else to help you out.
All right, thank you very much for that. We appreciate you. So, having said so, now, according to Garrett Brooks, he said the greatest conflicts are not between two people, but between one person and himself. Do anyone believe here that you can have conflict with yourself? With yourself?
How can that happen, sir?
How can it happen?
So I believe that you can actually have a conflict with.
Okay, so has anyone ever had a conflict with himself?
Yes, please. I
Yeah.
have.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, would you like to share with us?
Yeah, for
Yes.
example, this morning I had other appointments, and this webinar too was upcoming. So I had conflict within myself whether I should come on this webinar and jettison the other appointment, and I was struggling, and then I had to decide, okay, let me come for this webinar.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Now, you know, we have people who have issues with themselves. Have you ever seen a rich man committing suicide? Have you heard of a rich man who commits suicide? Hello?
I've heard of rich men committing suicide. Hello? I
Okay,
have
so
not seen, but I've heard of rich men committing suicide.
okay, what could be the issue? Could it be that they don't have money or something? What could have been the issue? Could it be that it is actually conflict that was not resolved, an unresolved conflict? Could it be, you know? So these are some of the things you look at. Actually, we have seen people who took their lives. Have you heard of any? Someone who you believe is well
Yes,
to
please,
do.
sir.
Yes, he's well to do and everything is okay, but he took his life. So when you see situations like this, it's a clear indication of the fact that, okay, this person has a conflict within him, but he could not resolve it. So sometimes we have conflicts when it comes to making decisions, taking important steps in life, you know, who we are going to marry, the type of jobs that we want to take, you know, sometimes even in the work that you are doing, you feel you are not satisfied with it and all manner of things like that. So when you begin to have conflict within some of these things, some people could not handle the said conflict, and then you know they feel that the better option is let me just kill myself. We've heard of an instance in the Bible, Judas. You know, we have this story in the Bible that that Judas sold Jesus Christ to be crucified. And so after that was done, he himself, you know, I believe that he had a lot of contention, maybe a lot of guilty conscience, and then he was like, what could be the solution to this conflict that I'm having within me? So he feels that the best option is let me just go and kill myself, let me just hang myself, you know, and that is what he considers as the solution for that. He did not take any steps to reach out to anybody. He did not take steps to reach out to somebody who could help him in the situation. So he alone was in the mess. He alone, and eventually, he decided to take his life. So when you find yourself in a conflict situation with yourself, they said that is the greatest of all conflict, because you are the one that will be looking out for solution. But where you find yourself in a situation where you take the next step, you want to reach out to somebody, in a form of negotiation. I have conflict. I and Ajayi have a conflict, and then I reach out to her. Can we talk about this? I'm not comfortable with this. This and this is what is done. This and this and this is what you have done, and I am not okay with it. Can we talk about it? You are reaching out. You are trying to express your mind. So when you have issues bottled up within you, you have issues bottled up in your heart, and then you are not able to express it, you are not able to share it, and then you keep contending with it. That's a conflict that is unresolved. And if you don't resolve conflict, it will degenerate into something very dangerous. So Garrett Brooks said that the greatest conflict that you can have is not the conflict between two people, but the conflict between oneself. And if you have a conflict within you, until you come out to share, nobody will have an idea what it is like. Nobody will know. So in trying to having established the fact that conflict can happen even within yourself, by yourself, you alone, you can have conflict, then how much more having another person, how much more relating with another person, another human being? It means that conflicts are bound to happen in our relationship with one another. If you are with me to this point, can you give me a thumbs up? If you are with me to this point, can you give me a thumbs up? All right, perfect. Okay. So thank you. Thank you. All right. So here we go. So now, when I have a conflict with somebody, and I see it as a normal way of life, so I need to develop the ability and the skills that I need to be able to help resolve conflict, because it's the normal thing that happens in life. The necessity. Will I say necessary evil? Because in as much as we see conflict as bad, it has its own advantages and its own disadvantages. And so if I understand that conflicts are bound to happen, whether I intended it or it is by mistake, then equipping myself with the necessary skills of resolving those conflicts becomes something that is a necessity. And if you want to survive in this world, you want to survive in this life, you must equip yourself with the necessary skills to help resolve conflict. And let me tell you something. If you try to make your business revolve around providing services that is a daily need, and is something that every time, every moment people are in need of it, then I assure you that you are not going to run out of business. Because just like selling pure water or bottled water, this is a necessity for life. So conflict resolution are actually necessities for life. Now, if I establish the fact that conflict is inevitable, and then how do we resolve conflict when they come? ADR provides us with different mechanisms and opportunities to see how we can resolve conflict. One of those mechanisms is we can use negotiation. Negotiation happens between conflicting parties. Party A and B have conflict, and I say, oh, can we reach out to you? Can I reach out to the other party? Oh, I saw that you did something that I'm not comfortable with, or you said you are supposed to provide some goods for me and you did not do so, and then I'm not happy, I've lost profit, I've lost credibility, you know, can we talk about it? The person say, oh, I'm sorry, this is what happened, this is what happened. I am going to compensate you, I will give you something. You see, this is a discussion that is happening between two people. It is possible where the two people are actually in a position to talk. Then, you know, there are instances where conflict degenerates to the point where the two parties cannot talk to each other, and they are not also in a position to talk to each other. So what happens? In that situation, you see that in that situation, you will see that unless you have the intervention of a third party, it becomes difficult. Now, this intervention of third parties happen in different stages. You can go for conciliation. If you go for conciliation, you are appointing a third neutral party who has nothing to do with the dispute to assist you in discussing. Now, the third neutral, who is a conciliator, for example, what he does simply is he comes, listen to you, and then he is empowered to suggest solutions for your dispute or for your problem. Please, if you can hear me, can you indicate? And if we are together to this point.
Yes,
if you are,
I am with you.
You type yes on the chat. Yes, can you say yes on the chat? Just say yes if you're with me. So a conciliator has the power to make suggestions, but it depends on the parties to accept. Then you can decide to explore another avenue to resolve your dispute, which is called mediation. Mediation, also, a third party neutral is appointed. But in this case, the third party neutral is not ordinarily supposed to suggest solutions to the parties. What he does is facilitative. He assists the parties using his skills and his abilities to be able to discuss, negotiate, and come to a point where they agree to resolve their disputes amicably. That is what he does in mediation. He is also a third party. A mediator is a third party neutral. You know, he assists the parties without making any suggestion as to the solution for the problems. Then you also have another means through which you can resolve those conflicts or disputes when they arise, which is called arbitration. In arbitration, remember, in mediation, the third party doesn't make suggestion. He does not take decision for the parties. He doesn't. So also, he only facilitate, help the parties communicate, because possibly communication has broken down between the parties, and so they cannot negotiate as expected, and then he comes in. Now, in arbitration, in mediation, it is the parties that actually take decision. They are the ones that are in charge and in control of the process. In arbitration, in this, an arbitrator also is a third neutral party who is appointed to help parties resolve their disputes. But in this case, the parties give the mediator the power to take a decision that is binding on them. So arbitration can be like a court session without wig and gown, without the technicalities, but the arbitrator takes a decision. The difference between arbitration and our court system is that it's a private way of resolving disputes, and the mediator is appointed by the parties. He listens to the parties and he takes decision. Now, you also have some You also have some that has to do with court referred. So you have situations where a matter is in court and then they will refer it to a multi-door courthouse, or they will take it to they will refer it to a private mediator to help mediate and resolve the matter, or if there is an arbitration clause, they will send it for arbitration. Then, why mediation? Why do you use mediation? Why do you use mediation? Why? Why must it be mediation? So these are some of the things that we look at for in mediation. So because I am trying to lay this background, because we are looking at facilitating a mediation session. How do I do it in a live situation, the do's and don'ts, of mediation? So you need to know why. You look at one important thing you know about mediation is the fact that the parties are the people who are in charge of the process. In charge because they appoint the mediator who is going to help them resolve the disputes. The mediator doesn't make suggestions ordinarily. They are the one that will discuss with each other. They are the one that will, through the help of the mediator, generate several options, for the resolution of their dispute. So they decide the time, they decide the venue, they decide the place, they decide the duration, they decide who to appoint, and they can decide to also end the process. And they are the ones that actually take the decisions, that best suits the amicable resolution of their dispute. Then the second thing also, the good thing about mediation is the fact that you have different options. Somebody can come with, okay, I am owing you 5,000 naira. And at the end of the mediation, because you have several options, somebody will say, oh, I actually bought a shoe 10,000 naira. I'm not expecting any money anytime soon. So if you will agree, I can give you the shoe. You just balance me up 2,000 and I'll leave the 3,000 naira for you. These are options. Somebody will say, oh, I don't have money now, but you remember the other time you came, you wanted to marry my daughter, and I said I was not interested. So, but as it is now, I do not have money to give you. But I can actually allow you to marry my daughter, and then you let go of the money. These are options. Are we together, please? Give me a thumbs up.
We are together.
All right. Thank you very much for that. So you can decide to say, oh, I will give you my daughter to marry, in exchange for that amount. You don't need to pay anything anymore. That's options. So you have several options. And the good thing is that in generating the options, somebody will say, oh, I'm going to pay you your money. I don't have it now, but in 2-3 months' time, I will be able to pay. The courts don't consider those kind of things. They will just give their judgment, and after the time expected, you fail to obey the judgment, you go to court to execute. But in generating options, you say, I will pay you the amount, but I'm expecting money in 2-3 months' time. Will you agree for me to pay you at that time? So the parties will discuss and agree. That's the advantage of using mediation. Then you imagine a business relationship where you are a supplier, you are a producer of a particular product, and the other person is a consumer of the product. And you know that as you continue your relationship, this person is going to continue using your product and he will keep buying and buying from you. But a situation arises that dispute and conflict was there, and then they didn't pay you as expected. if you decide to take the matter to court and the court decide to give judgment against them, and they came to the place of their business, and then they execute and attach the product or the properties of these people, do you think that these people will come back to you again to buy some products? I want someone to, I want to hear somebody's opinion. Do you think they will come back? If yes or no, let me have your reason.
Please say the question again.
You have a business relationship. You are a producer and the other person or the other company is a consumer of your product. You have supplied to them and then the money accumulated. But you know that there is potential, there is a possibility that your market will grow with them, but they are not able to pay you. You decided to go to the court, you got judgment, and you went to attach their property in order to satisfy the outstanding debt. After the procedure, do you think that they will still come back to you to patronize you?
No, sir. No, sir.
Why do you think so?
Because you've made outsiders to hear about the conflict between you and them. And so they are disgraced, they feel disgraced or something of that sort. So they will not come back to you. That's my opinion, sir.
Okay, do we have other opinions?
My reply will be no, they won't come back.
Why?
Yeah, because there is no, you've actually destroyed the relationship, business relationship you have with them. But if you had left it and settled it amicably, they'll be able to come back because you know that no matter what, that relationship is there. So that's my own reply to it.
Okay, do I have any other opinion?
Yeah, it's because of the adversarial approach that has been used, and then leaving one person losing or and one person winning.
Okay, one more opinion. Can we have one more person? Okay, Mr. Adams, I can see you. Would you like to share your opinion?
The last speaker has captured it all. They see court as an adversarial system of resolving disputes where one wins and the other person loses. Meanwhile, in ADR processes, it's most times going to come out in a win-win situation, just like you have been painting all this way that this person gets some, this other person gets some. But whereas in court, the judgment goes in favor of someone. And so once the person feels that he doesn't get anything in return, he loses all, then someone that has lost all will not want to come back for business. He feels he has lost it all. And that's one disadvantage of litigation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate all those who have given us their opinion. These are perfect, wonderful ones. So you see, mediation actually saves your relationship, protects it. So after the dispute, there is every tendency that you can progress and continue with your relationship. But when you resolve your matter in court, you know I'm a lawyer. I'm not trying to tell you that court is not performing its own duties. There are matters that you cannot resolve actually through mediation or ADR generally. You have to go to court. So you need to know those exceptions. Like if you want to do a declaration of a right, you cannot say, let us go and do mediation, then you declare a right. No, that is not. You cannot interpret documents. You cannot interpret constitution. You cannot interpret written instruments via ADR. You understand? So it has its own advantages. You cannot dissolve marriage through ADR. No. You can discuss the surrounding circumstances and everything connected to it, but a mediator and arbitrator cannot dissolve your marriage. No. So you look at, so it protects the relationship between the parties. There is this saying that you cannot go to court and come back the same. You cannot go to court and remain friends. So you say, I will go on appeal. I will appeal and appeal and appeal until I go to the Supreme Court. So that is it. So another good thing about mediation is the fact that anything you discuss during the mediation session remains in that session. It's protected. Every person who is involved in the process is expected to keep the information discussed confidential. When you have business secrets, you have some things you do to make your business, I learned that, Coca-Cola has something they use that give their product the kind of taste it has. Fanta has theirs, and everybody is keeping a secret. So if Coca-Cola and Fanta has a dispute and they go to court, during cross-examination and they ask you, are you sure that Fanta is the product of your company? Yes. Can you tell us, if you are sure, the processes and the procedure you take in making or producing the Fanta or the Coke? And then they say, remember, you are under oath. If you lie to us, you'll be guilty of perjury and you'll be punished. So you'll be wondering, we mix this. What is that secret agent? So what is that secret thing that you used to put inside that give it the type of test? You are going to say everything. So you see that, and after you finish, another person who is not even part of the dispute, because it is a public place, can go to the court and apply for certified true copies, and it will be given to the person. Are we together? But ADR processes are confidential. Only the parties involved will come for the session. Every information discussed are protected. Even the mediator himself cannot be called as a witness to testify. See, that's why we advocate choose mediation. It's a good option. Then your time. Litigation, I don't need to explain to you. When you go to court, you are not talking of weeks. You may be talking of months or years. God help you if you get a judgment, the other person feels dissatisfied, it goes on appeal from the lower court to the high court, from the high court to court of appeal, from the court of appeal to Supreme Court. And that can take like 15, 20 years or 30 years. So these are some of the things. So when in building your ability to, let's say you want to take a training in mediation, some of the things that you're going to be learning are valuable skills, like communication skills. A mediator does not suggest solutions, but through communication, he helps the parties discuss. He helps the parties to find solutions through his training. So you are going to learn valuable soft skills like communication skills, conflict resolution skills. You're going to learn how to be empathetic. You will learn emotional intelligence. You will learn how to use questioning. These are some of the things we do in our training at Settlement House ADR Training Institute. We package these things together so that at the end of it, you are better equipped. We also teach you how to set up your own practice and all of those kind of things, how to start up, your practice as an ADR practitioner. So now, coming to some of the things that we need to do for today. Now, let's assume that all these things you have known, we have laid the background and we have laid the foundation. If you are with me to this point, can you give me a thumbs up? You understood all that we are discussing to this point? Oh, great. Thank you very much. I can see you. I appreciate you. So now the stages of mediation, what do you need to do? You need to understand that parties have a dispute. They have now appointed a mediator, which may be you. And then what do? You need to prepare. You need to prepare. I want to see your faces. Yes, thank you, Mercy. I can see your beautiful face. Yeah, I can see Ajayi. Yes, I can see. Please, can you put on your camera? We can take a snapshot and then that will be a good one, you know. So you need to prepare. They say preparation is everything. He who does not prepare, they say he has planned to what? To fail. If you want to do anything, you want to write exam, what do? You prepare. So when you prepare, then you can be confident that you can pass. You can go to the hell to pass. So also when it comes to mediation, by the time a mediator is appointed, you do some preparation, you do some underground work. This underground work will involve some things. Like you need to agree where are we going to use as the venue for this meeting? Remember, it's a private, confidential process. So which venue are we going to use? Have we on our cameras? I'm about to take a snapshot. So the venue must be conducive, the venue must be in such a way that you have a place for convenience and there is no noise. There is no tendency for another person to get to hear what you are discussing because of the confidential nature. And it's not a place where there is noise such that it's going to distract the meeting. Are we together?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
All right, good. So, okay, so you look at the venue. You must ensure that, because sometimes you will need, sometimes in the course of the session, you may need some private session with the, you will need some private session with the parties. So the venue you are going to choose should be the one that will provide you with that opportunity to have another room where you can go and have a private discussion with the parties. That is for preparation. So it's also part of your preparation to agree as to your fee, possibly to collect your money. You know, as mediators, you collect your fee before the commencement, and it is both parties that pay for that fee. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when the venue has been established, you are going to agree as to the time. Maybe you want to spend maybe 1 week, or you want to be sitting from day to day, from the beginning till the end. okay, if you are going to be adjourning the session, how do we communicate with each other? Is there anybody that will assist us? Or the mediator will reach out to the parties and say, okay, remember our meeting, so time. All these things you have to agree during preparation. Then once that is done, you go to the next stage. The next stage is when you are done with your preparation stage, you go to the opening phase. So what do you do during the opening phase? You are going to introduce, let's say you have agreed and now you have come for the mediation. What do you do? Introductions. I am Nanchang Nangwang. I am the Executive Director of Settlement House Media Training Institute, and I am appointed as your mediator for the session. You can call me Mr. Nan. This is your opening phase. You kindly introduce yourself and then let me tell me how you want me to address you. Say, hey, I am Mr. XZY, and then you can call me Mr. Z. I'm Mr. ZYX. You can call me Mr. Y. That's your introductory session. Are we together? Don't mind me as a teacher. I always want to know that I'm carrying my students along. So don't mind me if I keep asking if we are together. Bear with me and keep answering me so that I will know that we are all together. Right? So now, when parties come for mediation session, that is what is called mediation agreement. They need to sign an agreement to show that they need to sign an agreement to mediate. And you need to confirm from them if they have signed that agreement. They are saying that they are agreeing to resolve their dispute through mediation. Okay. They have agreed to resolve their dispute through mediation, and they have signed the mediation agreement. And if anyone is not coming there in his capacity as a party, is representing another person, you must find out whether the person that comes has the power to actually represent the company or the organization he claims to represent. Then you go to the mediator's opening statement. The mediator's opening statement is a very, very important aspect of the mediation, because it is the mediator's opening statement that will set the course for the mediation. That is what is going to tell the parties what the mediation is, what is the expectation, the role of the mediator, what he does during the process, the rules and regulations that are going to be agreed upon, and then you explain the process to them. So that is very, very important. My name is this is what you address me. You ask them whether they have been in a mediation session before, and even if they have, you explain what mediation is. Help them to know that it is their own session. They are the one that owns the session. They are the one that owns the discussion. They are the one that owns the solution. Your role is going to be facilitative. You help them in the course of it. Then the parties will do their own opening statement after the mediator. The opening statement will be that they will tell their own side of the story. This is what happened. He collected my goods and he said he's going to pay me on the 30th. Now, this is first of a new month. He has not paid. And I needed to sort out some bills and then people are on me. That is your own opening statement. You now ask the other party to also say his own opening statement. Say, no, I told him I will pay, but in case I don't pay on the 30th, I will pay on the 5th. And so, but he keeps disturbing me this and that. That is the opening statement. Each party will state what he wants. This one will say, no, I want my money and I want compensation. This one will say, no, I'm not paying any money, no any compensation. Then after the party's opening statement, you go to the exploration stage. You know what explore? That is where the skill of the mediator comes in. You will help the parties to discuss, bring out their interests, you know. And this can be done whether in a private session or in a joint session. You may have a situation where the parties are not, they are like cat and dog, they cannot stay. So you can decide to start with a private session, which is called caucusing. One important thing that can help you in the course of your session is when you are able to derive an agenda. This person says, I supply goods, I'm supposed to be paid, I was not paid. This person says, yes, he supplied goods, but I said I'm going to be paid, I'm going to pay both either in cash or in kind. And so after the supply, I decided to pay in kind, and he invited me to his house or to his hotel room and all of those things, and I paid him in cash or in kind. That may be his own or her own explanation. So what is the problem now? There are facts that are agreed upon and there are facts that are not agreed upon. Facts that are agreed upon may not be an issue. Yes, there is a supply. Yes, I've received the supply. Now, the fact that may be an issue may be okay, how much was supposed to be paid? How was it supposed to be paid? When was it paid and why? Has it been paid or not? Please, can you confirm if you can hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Raji. Thank you. So here we go. Yes, I can. So you are going to discuss, set an agenda, payment of my money. So what is the issue? When you set an agenda, issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3, lawyers call it issues for determination. We call it agenda. You set an agenda. Now the money to be paid is a main issue. So you are going to now pick those issues one after the other or the agenda and start discussing it and get to a logical conclusion. Then you pick the other ones. So remember, you do that either in a joint session with both the party A and party B together discussing. But when it gets to a point where discussion becomes difficult, or when you get to a halt, or where you get to a stalemate, where parties are no longer proceeding, then you will find an option. Maybe you break into caucus. There are facts that the other party may not want to share in a joint session. You take him to a private session. What do you do in a caucusing? You are going to discuss frankly. You are going to help the person understand that it is also a confidential process. Both the caucus and the private session is confidential. Anything you discuss remains with you. You are not going to go anywhere with it. You are not going to share with another person. Then you do reality testing. The person is saying, I'm going to be asking for damages. Like one of the cases we used to do, employment, you know, your salary is like 150,000 naira. They've not paid you salary for like 2-3 months, and then you are claiming 10 million damages. Just imagine that kind of scenario. So in caucusing, you are going to be asking difficult questions. You are going to be doing reality testing. You're going to, or somebody is saying that these goods, we cannot sell it to you or except, let's say the land in the particular area goes for 1 million naira. And then the person is saying that he will not sell that property unless you pay him 3 million naira. So it is in caucusing that you discuss. That's between the two of you. Tell me, can you justify why should the person pay you 3 million naira? How much is land sold around this area? You know, so your preparation is key. When you know the facts of the, the matter you are going into, preparation is key. So you do some reality testing, get to find out, ask difficult questions. Okay, explain me, can you justify this thing? Can you, you know, a lot of things like that. Those are some of the things you are going to learn when you take the proper certification training. Then you now, when you identify the issues you have explored, you know the party's interest, you know their position. What do they really want? What is their needs? Now you negotiate. They now understand. In the course of discussion and negotiation, you get to understand, like in one instance, a tenant has not been paying his rent because of the issue of IPPIS or something, and then, you know, they have not been paying him his salary. The landlord thought, see, this man is working, he's just enjoying staying in my house, and then for 1 year, 2 years, he has not paid me my rent, and then no discussion, the landlord took the matter to court. So when we came to a mediation session, we were discussing, and then this person says, this one says, and then that was the time the landlord gets to understand or knows the reason why this person was not able to pay. See, that is mediation. If you are in court, everybody is trying to defend himself. There will be no time to explain the reason why you know, even if you do that, it will be under tension, and then they are cross-examining you, and then you will be tired. You want to say the aspect that favors you. But in the session, you get to understand, this is the problem, this is why I was not able to pay. So, oh, if you have told me this thing, this couldn't have happened. That is mediation for you. Parties discuss, they negotiate with each other. Then by the time you reach a point, you will begin to highlight your point. These parties have discussed, this is your interest, this is what you want. Have you agreed? Yes, I agreed. This was the problem I faced. That is why I was not able to pay, but I'm ready to pay. How much is it? 10 naira. How will you pay? You know, I receive my salary is 5 naira and I have family, so I want to be paying instrumentally. The other party, what do you think about it? Say, okay, I will accept 2 naira, but if it's going to be consistent, okay. Are there other ways you think you can pay him off? Say, okay, if he's talking of money, but if not money, I have some other things that are valuable I can give him in exchange for this. So what are those things? I have beans, I have rice, I have chicken, I have goat, I have rat. Will you be able to accept goat or rat or something? Say, it has been a long time that I ate bush rat. If it is bush rat, I can accept it. Or, you know, that is discussion. You are discussing. The mediator is there to facilitate this discussion. That's what he does. Then when you are able to arrive at a settlement over an issue, you write it down, you jot it, 5,000 naira to be paid. It's supposed to be paid in 3 months. It's going to commence payment so month. This is when he's going to finish his payment, and you know, this and that and that. When everything is done, you are going to reduce it into an agreement and you write it. and the parties will sign. Where the parties are able to resolve their issue, you write it down. Do a proper agreement. If they have lawyers, the lawyers will involve. This is what we agreed. The lawyers will put it in proper perspective to protect their interest, the interest of each of their respective clients, and then you are good to go. Where the parties are not able to resolve, you thank them for choosing mediation and for utilizing the system. Help them to know that they can always come back to you if they want to continue the process, and all of those things. In as much as you want the parties to resolve, it is not a must that they must resolve. But as a mediator, you must ensure that you are committed to the process to the point where you are committed to the process till the end. Because the moment you say, okay, it is your dispute, so I'm okay, you can go your way. Since you don't want to resolve it, that will end the session. And that shows lack of commitment on your part. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. Thank you. So that is what you need to do and the things that you don't need to do in the process. Now we have spent 1 hour. Then quickly, you're very much welcome. So I can see one of our greatest mentor and faculty member, Mr. Samuel Orabosa or Saren. You're welcome, sir. We're happy to have you here, sir. Then, quickly, let me show you what a mediator's opening statement looks like and what you need to do, because it's very, very critical. Parties' opening statements are actually what their issues are. They will explain it, say their own perspective and what they want. The other party also does what you want, Then when that happens, the mediator's opening statement is very important, and that is why I said it is important that the mediator does a proper opening statement so that the parties will get to know what needs to be done. Okay, so all right, so when you conclude, you have an agreement. But if you want to see a sample of an opening statement and what it entails, let me just brush that quickly for you so that when you are doing a mediation session, you know what to do. Now, opening statement is very, very important for a mediator. Now, assuming I am the mediator and then you are the parties, I am going to start by introducing myself, which I have said earlier. And by introducing myself, I will tell the parties that I will greet them. After greeting them, I will yes, so this is, can you confirm if you can see my screen? So an opening statement should contain your introduction. You introduce yourself as the mediator. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So you welcome the parties. I am Nanchang Nangwang, and I am your appointed mediator. I have been certified by Settlement House ADR Training Institute. I'm part of their body of neutrals, and then I have been helping parties resolve disputes. I've done a lot of, I've helped parties resolve a lot of disputes, and I have handled matters similar to this. I'm a panel on different ADR institutions. You can address me as Nanchang in the course of the mediation, and then you ask you must have asked the parties how they want to be addressed and all of those things. Then you need to appreciate the parties. The second thing you need to do is to appreciate the parties for choosing mediation. Most people are not aware of mediation, and they don't even want to resolve their matters through mediation because they believe that it is the court that works. So you appreciate them for choosing mediation. Get to know them. They'll tell you that call me Mr. or Doctor or Professor this. Remember, when someone says add a title chief, ensure you call him as chief or doctor or professor. If you don't do that, it may affect your session. After introducing themselves, you thank them for what they have done. Thank them for introducing themselves. Thank them once again for coming for this session. Some may not come, and you cannot compel them or force them to come. So if it is a physical mediation, you ask them, okay, they should keep their phone and put them on silent. Explain to them we have a place where you can ease yourself. You can take water if you want to. If you want tea, you have sweets and all of those things. They are all there. If you want to go to the restroom, this is the restroom. But you need to confirm nobody is with you. If it is physical, of course, you see the people that you are with. If it is online, you help them to know that, okay, there is no need for any other person to be there because of confidentiality. So, like in the course of the meeting, somebody recorded the session. If it is a mediation, recording the session will actually breach the issue of confidentiality. So you have to let them know that nobody records it, nobody is there with you, and all of those things. You have to agree on that. And you cannot be doing the mediation and then you'll be picking your call and say, okay, wait for me, I'm coming, I'm in a meeting, I'm coming. No, you need to agree on some of these things. Now, one party speaks at a time. It's expected that everybody will speak. I'm here to help you, but you speak first. After speaking, if this person is raising a point that you feel it is not correct, or you feel does not present the correct position, you have the opportunity to speak. So take note of it. I will also be taking notes so that I will be properly, I will take note of the progression and some of the things we discussed and agreed upon. I'm going to destroy my recordings afterward because it is a confidential and private session. So, explain your role as a mediator. You are there to assist them resolve the dispute. You are not there as a lawyer. You are not going to give legal advice. You are not there as a judge. You are not going to give decision. Please, if you are with me, can you give me a thumbs up? So help the parties know that it is their session. They are the ones in charge. They are the ones that will be doing the talking. They are the ones that are going to agree on the solution. They are the ones that will generate these various options. All that I are going to do as a mediator is to help them facilitate the session. So you need to also confirm Before you commence the session, if they have signed an agreement to mediate, before you give them, it will include your fees, it will include the issue of confidentiality, it will include the issue of enforceability, and what you do with whatsoever is agreed. The mediator is exempted from any liability. He cannot be called as a witness. They have agreed to dedicate themselves and their time to resolve this dispute via mediation. Let them sign it. When they sign it, that's a document you can use. So, once they have signed, they have agreed, confirm if they are in representative capacity. If it is a personal dispute between individuals, no need, because the parties will be before you. But if anyone is representing another person, ensure you confirm that you have authority to settle. They will send you a letter of authority and you see it, or a power of attorney, you see it, and confirm that, so that you will not, after discussing, then can you take decision, say, okay, please 1 minute, let me go and call my boss. Say, sir, they said they are going to pay 500 naira last. Is it okay with you? They say yes. Say, okay, my guy say it is not okay. You people should act. So you can see that the negotiation will not be going smoothly. So always thank the parties for what they do. So, but you see, since the parties are the ones that have the power to proceed and it is their time, you can ask them to, you help them know that mediation is party driven. You are free and it is a voluntary process. It is confidential. Nothing we discuss here is going to go out. Nobody is going to hear it. If you bring in people, all those people are also bound by confidentiality. So, but since it's a voluntary process, you can withdraw at any time. But before you withdraw, I would like to have some time with you so that you can just share with me and explain to me why you want to withdraw. That is very important. Now you explain to them the process. We can do this process. This process will take us a joint session like you and me. We are both together here. And in some instances where I feel necessary, I will take you to a private session where we will discuss one-on-one. When you are taking the party to the other room, don't leave the other one thinking, what are they going to be doing? What will they be discussing? Explain to them during your opening statement. You are going to get to that point where necessary, and you should not bother thinking, what are they? No, you can be thinking of the solution and what to do during the session. That's what you help them be thinking, brainstorming, what are possible ways we can resolve this dispute while you discuss. I don't have interest in whatsoever you are doing. I'm here to help you, help them to understand. So if I'm in joint session, we'll discuss. If it's private session, I will ask you difficult questions. I'm going to do a lot of, ask you a lot of things. So we'll discuss frankly and be free and open. Help them to be satisfied that nothing they discuss here is going to go out, so that they can be free to express their mind. So you are going to start with a joint session and where necessary. Some instances you start, sometimes you see husband and wife, they are like cat and dog, they are lion and goat. They cannot stay in one session. So you do what my my good friend Mr. Victor always calls shuttle mediation. You go to this place and discuss with them, and you find something, you come back to this person and discuss. That's how you keep shuttling until you're able to reduce the tension, and if they can come together. But in some instances, parties actually resolve their disputes shuttling from one place to another without coming together. Then that's an exceptional situation. You need to know that. You need to be sensitive. So it's important that you actually take the training and get the necessary skills, certification as a mediator, so that you will be exposed to some of the skills that you need to be able to regulate the session. Emotional intelligence, tensions are high. You know when to break the parties into, when to even start with a caucus session. These are some of the things that you are going to learn. You need to help them understand that you are impartial. You are not going to favor anybody. You are not going to give anybody any legal advice. You are not going to judge the situation. It is the parties. Let them understand that you are neutral and there is nothing that will make you descend into the arena. So when you are going from room to room, you should know that you are just doing that in the best interest as you are doing your work to help them resolve their dispute. So these are some of the things. Help them understand that the outcome of the dispute is in their hands. So if they're able to settle, you help them draft the agreement, or if they have lawyers, the lawyers will draft the agreement and everybody will sign. Remember, you are a third party. You are not meant to give options and solutions. Although the new Arbitration and Mediation Act says that a mediator can make suggestions, but subject to the confirmation and agreement of the parties. That is the new. So you now help them to know that, okay, you're going to start with a joint session. Then where need be, you go for a private session. And remember the rules you have agreed upon, what you need to do. Everybody talks one after the other, and then no interruption, no some kind of, you don't use vulgar words, you don't insult, you don't do all of those things. You need to discuss and agree. And you can ask them whether they have any other thing they want to say or question they want to ask before you comment. So that is when you go through all these things with the parties, even if they have not attended a mediation session before, they will be able to understand what it is. The notes, since you say it is a confidential process, remember the notes you are taking, some of them will be wondering, why is he writing? You see, my brain is not computer. So when they say issue number one is my money, issue number two, when to pay the money, issue number three, how to pay the money. If I don't record it, it's possible I may not follow them logically and chronologically, and I may forget some of them. So I take note of it either in my book or in a board or in some of these papers that you roll, like calendar. That is what you need to know. So everybody has opportunity to speak and say his own part. It is your skill as a mediator that comes to play. So when they don't have anything to add, then you thank them and then you commence the session. And another thing is, usually the person who brings the dispute first or makes the complaint, allow the person to speak first. Afterwards, remember you are impartial. If you decide to say, like in one of the mediation sessions, the mediator said, since our name is, he wants to follow our name alphabetically. So he's starting with the person, like the person that is defending. I brought the matter, and then he wants to hear from the other person first in the opening statement before he comes to me. I said, no, I brought the dispute. I was the one that made complaint. Why would you say that you want to start with another person? Are we together?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So that is it about opening statement. But as regard agreement to mediate that the parties should sign, it will just be an agreement. They enter, they put the date, the name of the person and all of those things, and then the name of the other party all written on it. And then you say the parties have agreed they want to resolve their dispute through mediation. Simple. This is the dispute that is at hand, and the parties have agreed to submit it to mediation. They want to resolve the matter through mediation, and that is it. And they have appointed Mr. Nanchang as the mediator, and they have decided to enter that agreement voluntarily and they are submitting to the mediation processes voluntarily, and this person is appointed, yes, they will abide by the rules. That is the importance of the agreement to mediate. They will abide by the rules. And the persons who are at the table have the requisite authority. This is also to save you. Tomorrow somebody will say, no, I just came to watch how the thing goes. I didn't come to agree or decide anything. The agreement to mediate will be clear, and that will show you what they have agreed upon. And some of the things that are agreed upon, the admissions, the papers, the documents you use during the procedure, they must understand that, these are confidential. You cannot use it in another proceeding. Say, he has agreed during the session, so I'm going to take it to court. He agreed, he's lying. No, you cannot, it's without prejudice. You cannot use any of the documents or anything that you have agreed or exchanged or said during, or any admissions you've made during this thing, if you have not agreed. Remember, the mediation process is not binding. It is the result that is binding. And it's only the result that you need to take to court or you need to use as an agreement to show that you people have resolved. The process, the things you say, the things you tender, or the admissions you made, all of those things are not going to be seen anywhere. And you must agree that you are going to take part in good faith. You are not going to just be doing so that you hear what the people are saying, then you go and do your own. No. So these are some of the things that you must consider. And you agree as to the laws you want to use. If it is Nigerian law, you have to state it there and say, yes, we agree. The parties agree to the terms with regards to payment of the mediator. They are going to pay in equal share. They will share it into two, 10 naira, 5 naira, they will pay. And if it is an hourly, something they were going to agree, you must have done it in your preparation. If it is something that you go from day to day, venue, and there may be accommodation, transportation for the mediator, all those things are going to be done. If it is an institutionalized mediation, like you want settlement house to appoint, you can draft your dispute resolutions clauses and say you want to make settlement house as an appointing authority, or settlement house will be the one to administer the mediation. And so the rules and regulation of settlement house, their training institute and their center will apply, and all of those things. So you need to clearly state it. Administrative. If it is ad hoc mediation, you agree on all these things and choose. But if you are using an institution, the institution provides all of these things. They have scale of charges, they have timing, they have administrative expenses, and they have all that you need to be put in place, including where you're going to be using. They will take care of it. You just come and do your mediation. Remember that these expenses for the mediator and then the fee and all of the session needs to be paid. You can agree on how payment will be made, but more importantly, you need to know that these things need to be paid before the session commences. Are we together to this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, yeah.
On the time and every other thing. So with this, we have exhaustively considered all that you need to know, the do's and the don'ts in mediation. So finally, for those who may want to take a step further, if you are not a mediator and you have not been trained, and then you want to see what are the things that I need to do. So these are the things you look out for. here. So I think over to you. I'm going to just share that in the screen so that you see. Over to you, Mr. Jai. Over to you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate you all for listening to me for this while. I hope you enjoyed the session. I will be happy to entertain any question, if any.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so in view of everything that he has said, if you have any questions that would like to ask, you can just raise up your hand, or in the chat box, you can ask. So I'll read it out. Concerning everything that he has said, or if you have any questions concerning mediation, or there was something that he said that we did not understand. Okay. Nathaniel Banua. Okay, so please, if you have a question, you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask.
You can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yes. It was
The audio is breaking. We cannot really hear you. So maybe
yes, so I like
if it's also possible, we can make use of the chat box for our questions. So it's easier for everyone. Okay. So he said, in case after mediation and one party later decides not to accept the settlement agreement, what happens?
Okay. A party cannot decide not to accept the settlement. Remember, I said the processes of the mediation is not binding, it's a non-binding process, but the agreement which is binding. The new law says you can enforce it as either a contract or a terms of settlement, filed in court and adopted as consent judgment. So just like an ordinary agreement between the two of you, once you agree on something and sign it, it's binding on you. Not to even talk of the process. That's why this agreement to mediate, we said you will sign it before the commencement. You cannot come and say, no, you didn't know, you are rejecting, and you must participate in good faith. You have the authority to resolve and take decision on behalf of anybody you are representing. So these are the things that you do. You have made commitment, you pay the fees, and before the commencement, you have paid. All those things are explained. These are the things that you sign in the agreement to mediate before the commencement. So that at the end of it, issues like this would have been sorted out. Your signature is there, you have agreed. You can only pull out before you reach an agreement. Not when you have reached an agreement, you have drafted it, you have signed. Once you sign, it is binding on you and can be enforced against you. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you very much. The second question is that can I be called as a mediator to witness at court?
Well, it depends on the jurisdiction where you are practicing. In the new law that is passed in Nigeria, mediators are exempted ADR practitioners, arbitrators are exempted. The duty of confidentiality is bound, it applies to you. You cannot be called as a witness. In fact, anything that you do during the process, they said you are exempted from any form of liability. So you cannot be called as a witness. But there are instances, there are some exceptions where, for example, if maybe somebody comes in the course of the mediation, he confessed to the commission of a crime. You cannot keep it and say you are bound by confidentiality, or he tells you that he's going to commit the crime in order to pay for something. No. In the United States, where it has to do with the welfare of a child or molestation of a child and all of those things, you cannot hide it. And except where specifically laws exempt or clearly states the circumstances under which you can be called, you cannot be called as a witness. You are exempted. I hope I have attempted your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, as a mediator or arbitrator, mediator, can let's say court connected, can a client, bring his lawyer to come and witness his case whilst a mediator or arbitrator is facilitating? Thank you very much.
Yes, you have the right to come with anybody. If it is your lawyer can represent you. That is what we do. We train people and certify them as mediation advocates. Mediation advocates are either they are lawyers who are trained to represent people in mediation session. And we have non-lawyers who are also trained to represent people at mediation session. We call them mediation advisor. So just as a lawyer goes to court to represent his client, so also a mediation advocate is trained to acquire the skills and ability to be able to help his client represent his client in a mediation session. So if you are a party, subject to the agreement of the parties, you can allow anybody to come and witness the session. But it has to be with the consent and agreement of the parties involved. But if it is your lawyer, for example, or your representative, the other person will not object. But we have a situation where trainees will say they want to observe a mediator. In that case, you have to talk with the parties and say, please, can you give them, will you allow them? This is someone I'm training. He wants to see how I do this thing. Will you allow him? Or somebody say, I want to come with my pastor. Let the party know, oh, I'm coming with my pastor. The other person, I'm coming with my imam and all of those things. Parties have to agree to bring in someone. Did I attempt your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. But there is another one which I'm confused about. It's like the two parties. One party might have a lawyer, but the other one have not a lawyer. What happens then? How do you arbitrate or mediate that?
Well, you see, mediation is actually party driven.
Yeah, I mean arbitration, sorry, arbitration.
Okay, arbitration. Yes, arbitration, it doesn't really matter as such because you are the one who is appointed, the parties trust you. So if one person has a lawyer and the other doesn't have, it doesn't actually affect anything, just that one party, the lawyer may be making a lot of submission on his behalf. Remember, APR is party driven and it is not a contentious or adversarial process. So all the technicalities of law, including the law of evidence and all of those things, they are not applicable in arbitration. It's a simple process where you can just speak and then say your own. If you have any document, you tender it. All these objections and the rest of it, they are not there. So a party can safely do what is needed or what he needs to do without even a lawyer.
Thank you very, very much. I'm most grateful and I'm satisfied. Thank you. May God be with you.
Thank you.
Right. So there's Nathaniel Banua says, I want an enlightenment on two things. The first is, we were told the greatest conflict occurs within the individual. How then do we resolve conflicts within the individual?
Okay, so Nathaniel, are you a Christian? Let me ask. Nathaniel, we can't hear him. Okay, so let's assume that, let's say he's a Christian or he's a Muslim, and then here you are. Somebody says you saw you are in need, and somebody say something within you tells you steal this money. It will help you, and something say no. You are in the office. They say, can you just sign this document and then we'll siphon. It's 20,000. If you add a zero to it, it will become 200,000. We'll share the rest. And another thing within you is telling you, no, don't do it. It's wrong. Something is saying, don't you see that you are in need? You need to pay school fees, you need to go to school, you need to eat. Is that not a conflict? Then if you decide to go with the one that said do it and you did it, sometimes you have guilty conscience. Something will be telling you you have done something wrong. So if you are a Christian or a Muslim, something will say, oh, you need to sort out this thing. You know you have committed sin. That's conflict. This is the same thing that would drive somebody to go and do something dangerous. A lady slept with a man, which is a sin maybe in our own religion, and she is feeling guilty conscience. Why should I do something like this? Oh, I can't keep it. Let me go and abort. Something say, if you abort, this is what is going to happen. Something say, oh, if you do this thing, this is what will happen. But you still went ahead and said, no, I can't bear the shame. These are conflicts within you. If you come to terms with the fact that I will bear the shame, I made the mistake, I will go to God and ask for forgiveness, I will explain to my parents, and I'm going to keep the pregnancy. That's a decision. This comes as a result of conflict with him. Another one say, no, I can't bear the shame. Let me just go and abort so that nobody will get to know. These decisions are made within. And if you are not able to resolve it, you take a decision that is very detrimental to you as a person. So you see somebody who is well-to-do in Lagos. We had that somebody has jumped into the lagoon and he's working, he's doing well. What is the problem? Conflict within. So if you cannot resolve it, get to talk to another person. That's what mediation offers you. Reach out to another person. If it involves you and another person, reach out to the person. If it involves maybe something that you know you need the intervention of another person, you have counselors, you have disciples, you have mentors who you can reach out to. But mediation gives you an opportunity to air your mind. Sometimes, especially in family disputes, the husband is not listening to the wife, and the wife feels that the man doesn't love her anymore and she wants divorce. When you have an opportunity where the party and then they say, oh yeah, madam, say your own side in your opening statement. She talks and talks and talks for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. She has unbottled all the things that she was supposed to say, and the husband is not available to listen to her. After that one, that will be a relief on his own. But where that woman is able to have opportunity to say what she's supposed to say and share her mind, that will be bottling up, and then that conflict, because it is not resolved within herself, she will end up in a divorce. She may end up committing suicide, may end up taking any decision that is dangerous. I don't know if you understand what I said, Mr. Does that help? I think that is all about conflict within. Is there any other question? Okay, did you get?
Okay, sir, there's still one.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't even think he's here anymore. All right, so this is my own question. So my own question is, even when the parties, they've come to an agreement, settlement agreement, they've signed it and all of that, the mediation process has come to an end, they've signed. So let's say in a real life situation that maybe one of the agreements that they reached was that maybe there's someone that has to pay someone. Maybe one party has to pay the other party. And maybe that party says that, okay, this payment, I would meet up with it maybe in like 6 months. Maybe it's going to pay instrumentally. So what happens? Maybe he has paid for the first month, maybe he paid for the second month, and after that, he's not meeting up again. It does not. So how do we enforce it? Is there any law presently that enforces maybe settlement agreements?
You see, usually we have what we call multi-door courthouse. Now, multi-door courthouse are court-connected ADR centers. And because they are court-connected ADR centers, when you have a settlement agreement in a private session, you take it there, they stamp it, it becomes consent judgment. In the ADR multi-door courthouse, you have what is called ADR judges. ADR judges are there to stamp agreement of parties. You know, unlike the court where a judge gives decision, in mediation, it is the parties that decide for people. And when you are saying, the judge will ask you, is this what you are asking? You say, yes. Are you ready to abide by it? Yes. So the person writes, the judge stamps it, and that becomes consent judgment. So you can enforce it like you enforce court judgment. And if it is just an individual, just a settlement that you have done and you have a settlement agreement, you can take that settlement agreement, go to court and file what is called originating summons for the interpretation of that document and the enforcement. So instead of going through trial, the court will only interpret the document you have, which is a settlement agreement, and the court will now see what you have agreed and give effect to it. Then you cannot enforce it as a judgment. But you see, because the parties involved, discussed by themselves, agreed by themselves, they may not time before they get the matter resolved. They may take the necessary steps to ensure that the matter is resolved. And they will pay whatever they say they want to pay. That is the thing. They will not wait. Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes. Because nobody forces them. And the sign is very clear that the ones that involve themselves in the process agree that they are going to do it. Not somebody that, like the case of the judgment of court. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it is.
Okay, thank you, sir. So do we still have any questions? We're about to end the webinar. Do we still have any questions?
Okay, so for those of you who may want to take further steps, get the training or certification, maybe somebody will drop our websites are there, and then you can reach out to us. Maybe you can reach out to us reach out to us, with questions, or if you want to take the certification program and become a certified mediator, you can also take that step. That's another thing you can do, to learn the other skills that you. Okay, I can see another question. Okay, I think. Okay. Another question here says, when is it more appropriate to apply mediation? When the parties cannot resolve by themselves, you can go for mediation, or there are different types of mediation. You have facilitative, you have restorative, you have all manner of mediation. So it depends on the circumstance of the case. So for those who have indicated interest in getting a certificate of attendance, you can reach out to the necessary people. You can reach out to them, reach out to us, and then that will be done. So I think that will be.
Thank you too much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so that is the website. If you want to. You can connect with me on WhatsApp. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. For those who are on LinkedIn, I can drop my LinkedIn for you to my LinkedIn provide for you. If you're on LinkedIn, that's another place where you can actually reach out and connect with other people who are interested in mediation like you do. You can reach out through that session. So if you are someone who likes to learn more, connect with more people, that is where you should be. So our website is there. Those who are interested in a certificate of participation, you can also reach out, and that will be given to you as said. In absence of any other thing, I think we will be safe to
Please, along the line, my net went off, so I hope there's a recording for me to catch up with that.
Okay. The recording of the session will be available for those who are interested. They are there. We will share it. Okay, maybe we'll do that so that you can connect. When you search for settlement house media, you should be able to connect with me, and then you search for settlement house India Training Institute, Shadi on YouTube and other social media, and those who get the recording on YouTube. get the recording. But for those who okay, so for those who may want to have the link, for those who want, yeah, you can just go for this particular one. But there are other websites that are there because you learn them. Okay.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Jani, is that okay? So I must appreciate you all for the privilege and the opportunity to share my thoughts with you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate the president, Ms. Merit, for giving us the opportunity to share on this very important aspect. We want to appreciate all the participants. Susanna, I appreciate you. I hope she's there. Ms. Ajayi, I appreciate you. I can see our mommy Innocentia. She has attended from Ghana. We appreciate you all for creating time to listen to us, and then we pray that what you have learned, you will put it into practice. We appreciate you all. I cannot call you all by name. We really appreciate you. Reach out to us when you need anything. If you want us to organize another seminar or training of this nature, you can reach out to us. We will be glad to do so. If you have any further question, you can reach out to Eric, reach out to Susanna, reach out to Adjani, and you can reach out to me. I believe that we will give you where necessary. So thank you very much on behalf of the management of the Institute. I want to thank you all for coming to listen to us. For this, I hope you got value out of it. Please try to share the good news, share it with your friends, make them subscribe to the channel, and then they will get more updates when new information comes. I believe that, and I hope that this is valuable to you, and you get information that you can use in your day-to-day activity. Thank you very much.
I think that
I think we need to call Madam President to go to for our vote of thanks and closing remarks.
Yes. Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Please, am I audible now?
yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you very much, sir, for our. Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, but we cannot see you.
Sorry?
We can't see you.
Yes.
You mean my video?
Yes.
Yes, I'm in a low bandwidth area, so I won't be able to. I've been going in and out of the call, so I don't think it should be favorable for my audio.
All right, bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you to everyone who attended this session. Thank you, very distinguished speaker. I learned a lot, and I, for one, I understood the slides, and I hope the slides will be shared after this session. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for honoring our invitation to facilitate this wonderful session. It was really insightful. I'm sure those of us who intend to participate in the role play for Ideal Society would have a lot to deliver during the role play. Thank you very much, sir. In the future, when we call on you, when we reach out to you to help us, facilitate an insightful session like this, you would answer our call just like you answered this one. Thank you very much. We are very much grateful. We do not take your attendance for granted.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, over to you, Madam Moderator.
Yes, so thank you, sir. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate everyone. Like the president said, we really appreciate everyone that participated from the beginning and it was impactful. We learned many things. Thank you, sir. I think this is a convenient place for us to stop. Thank you, sir. Also, do you still have
All right.
anything to say?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.
So those who are have indicated interest in the certificate can reach out to you, and then or in the WhatsApp group, and then we can do the needs. All right. Bye.